So right now, yeah, your focus is in LA area, right? And you're looking for, are you guys looking to do arbitrage or to, co-hosting? What you guys plan on doing?
Yeah, we'd like to do the arbitrage with furnished units, but in LA, they have the problem that we're having right now with LA, Chow, is that on the short-term rentals, the owner has to be their primary residence. And so that's if it's 31 days or less. I don't know if you had a way around that legally and creatively, but that's our main concern right now.
So there are other cities are surrounding, not like LA County itself, that you can look into. I know Torrance is more lenient and it's more south. So you go south of LA, like, Torrance or into like Long Beach area, suburb area south of that, less restriction. A lot of my students, like Inglewood as well, has success in those areas. You also can move east of LA, like Pasadena, Riverside, those areas as well. They have less restrictions. So LA County is one, but that's just a small part of encompassing the whole like Los Angeles area, right? It's like a whole state. It's just huge out there. I would look into those areas that I just mentioned.
So you said Pasadena, and what was the last one?
Pasadena all the way east to all the way to Riverside. Anything east of Pasadena is less regulated. Anything like south, like around Torrance and surrounding areas are less regulated as well.
Okay.
I looked at Torrance. It seems a lot more suburban. I'll take those other areas. But I'm guessing for Torrance, it would be 3 and 4 bedroom houses, mostly for insurance and medical. Is that right?
Yeah, for insurance is number one. Top priority. Medical is second. And then thirdly is any other companies, corporations, especially in the home services industry, like construction, pest control, any kind of those home services, because they are essential. And also, there's a lot of old houses out here in LA that need renovations. So those companies are still doing really well. Like Huntington Beach, Long Beach, those areas good too, because you might be able to do a hybrid model for our purposes. So if you have a 1 week or 2 week vacancy, you can do a hybrid model close to the beach. So look into the Long Beach and Huntington Beach. It's also less regulated down there. LA is LA, right? Like it's the north area. It's a bunch of bougie people, I'm not a biggest fan of that environment either. But if you go the further out you go, the more you can see it's very, a lot of very good people, just normal suburban Americans that you can tap into and partner up with. If I heard you correctly, you said that you don't want to do the multifamily co-hosting because of the furniture, that you have to pay the furniture. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'd like to. Number one, the priority is waiting until we're cash flow positive to do that. But then
Okay.
number two is if we can get around it, we would like to wait or at least wait until we have a team who can handle it. Until we have a team that can handle, furniture and all that stuff. We'd like to avoid it if possible.
I mean, if you do arbitrage with the suburb community, are you guys looking to do arbitrage or co-hosting in the suburbs?
Arbitrage.
I mean, if you do arbitrage, you still gotta furnish the properties, right?
Well, we're looking at getting furnished ones, at least in
Oh,
from
gotcha.
what we're seeing, there's a lot available that's furnished.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
if we can't make that work, obviously we'll try the
Gotcha. I
unfurnished. We'll do
see
it
what you're
ourselves.
saying.
But
Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, the profit is less, but you save a lot of headaches on that front. So that is a good idea. Yeah, I mean, when you do that, LA would be the ideal place because the margin is big and the spread is bigger. You couldn't do that in
that's exactly what we were thinking. Is that it's more profitable out there, and then we can just since we're saving so much time, we can just take down more volume to up the profitability. Especially it just instantly becomes more profitable when you account for all the furniture costs that you're not paying for. That in itself makes it kind of
yeah.
helps balance out, I would think a little bit. When I was doing research on LA, it said that, like I said, it's not super good for short-term rentals, but anything over 31 days, it seems like a really good place. How realistic is it? We find a really good place in LA. My thought is, well, if we can't do short-term rentals, let's just book it, at least 95% of the time for midterm rentals. And I
Yeah.
think that would make it worth it.
Oh yeah.
We book it out at 3 months at a time or even, 6 or 8. Is that a realistic thought?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be a lot more short-term
No,
demand?
I'll say like 80, 90% is realistic and for midterm. So the occupancy rate, there are some students get to 95 or even higher percent, but around 80, 90% is really good because you're charging a lot of very high prices. In the gaps, if you can do some short term, then that would be amazing, you know. And the other thing is if you guys can do like a few at a time, so it will balance out. Let's say like you do like 5 or 10, you know. So even if
Mhm.
1 or 2 doesn't work out, the other thing you still may have a very profitable business. The other one can compensate. Let's say you have 2 of them are empty, but you have 8 that are making you quite a bit of money. You're doing good in that way. So there's strength in actually numbers doing this business. Also, you can do both arbitrage and co-hosting. Try that because with clients, with landlord who already have furnished homes, but they don't have the connections to the corporate housing or they don't know how to get it and how to manage it like we do. See if you can partner up with some of them. If they're not open to arbitrage, if they're open to co-hosting, then you don't have any risk for that.
I like the idea, and Winston, you tell me if I'm wrong. I almost like the idea of when we, open up negotiations, open with, "Hey, do you want to co-host?" So it's no money down, and then if they say no, then we can offer to just arbitrage it and put money down, which in a weird, like psychological way makes it seem more appealing because it's better than our initial offer.
Yeah, no, I like that.
So the neighborhoods I was looking at in LA were downtown LA. I read was good. I feel like
Uh,
that's a pretty
Avoid
broad area.
downtown. Avoid downtown.
You would avoid downtown?
Too much regulations. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's what I figured.
Yeah, focus on the area that I told you earlier. Those are more lenient, more suburbs, less regulations, especially like Huntington Beach or Long Beach. You can actually do a hybrid model because of the how close you are to the beach.
They'll allow the short-term rentals in Huntington.
Yeah, so like in certain residential zones, they allowed it, and also in the other places. So whenever you find something, just double check with the city. Most likely you do need like a permit, but once you have the permit, it's a lot less regulated than LA County. Definitely avoid
Got
downtown, guys. Yeah.
I have a couple more neighborhoods in LA County. Yeah, the only reason I'm curious, not that I'm trying to go against what you're saying, is I just wonder are the areas you mentioned, Torrance and Huntington and Riverside, are those as profitable as LA? Or is it still going to be, a little bit more profitable in LA? Because that makes it worth the risk of going just midterm rentals.
Yeah, I see. I see what you're saying. If you want to go that route, I would do 5 properties in 5 different markets, or 2 properties, like 10 properties, but like 2 in different markets, and then
Mhm.
test it out and then see which one is consistent, predictable, and then double down on that particular market.
Yeah, I like that idea because I was looking, it seemed like you tell me if I'm wrong, it said down from what I was reading, it's downtown LA, Santa Monica, Westwood in the UCLA area, Culver City and the Hollywood Hills have the most demand is what I was reading.
Yeah.
Mostly for 1 and 2 bedroom apartments other than Hollywood Hills. They were just saying people, obviously that's like a pretty special area and people will just pay a boatload of money to have a place up there.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do downtown. There's just so much regulations.
Okay, just stay away from that
Think
completely.
that LA County, if you can land somewhere on Santa Monica, will be good. Be a safe bet. Yeah, like Santa Monica Boulevard. I drive down that road all the time, so I know the area pretty well. Beverly Hills, of course. And if you get something in that area all the way down to Santa Monica up here, it should be pretty solid.